Good morning and a very warm welcome. This is the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. Today marks a significant milestone for over 500,000 students of Sri Lanka. Now, they're about to embark on one of the most challenging academic journeys of their life, the 2024 GCE Ordinary Level Examination. And as these students take the first step towards shaping their future, we at Newsfirst would like to extend our heartfelt best wishes to all the candidates this year. May you approach this exam with courage, determination and success. This is our top story this morning as well. Of course, the 2024 GCE Ordinary Level Examination will commence today and continue until the 26th of March. A total of 534 examination coordination centers have been established for this year's examination, which will be conducted at 3,663 examination centers across the country. A total of 478,182 candidates are set to sit for the examination, with 398,182 of them being school candidates. The exam will begin each day at 8:30 a.m. And for the first time, special examination centres have been set up in Ratmalana, Tangol, Mathura and Chilau to accommodate children with special needs. Commissioner General of Examinations Amit Jayasundara said that candidates should ensure that they bring the following items to the examination centre. First, examination card. The examination card is essential to enter the examination centre. It becomes valid only when your signature has been certified. For school candidates, the principal must certify the ticket, while private candidates should verify the authority responsible for certification. Valid identity card. Every candidate must present a valid identity card at the examination centre. Acceptable forms of identification include a national identity card issued by the Department of Registration of Persons, a passport or a driver's licence. Third, stationery. Candidates are advised to bring pens, pencils and other necessary materials for the examination. And also, a water bottle is allowed if required. And items not allowed into the examination hall. There are strict regulations regarding items that candidates cannot bring into the examination hall. Mobile phones and electronic devices. Mobile phones, smartwatches and any other electronic communication devices are strictly prohibited. If found in possession of these devices, they will face severe consequences, including a 5-year ban from taking future examinations. Notes and erasers. The use of notes and liquid correction pens is not permitted during the GCE Ordinary Level Examination, and candidates are expected to arrive at the exam centre by 8:30 a.m. for the morning sessions. The afternoon examinations will begin at 1 p.m. with the exception of Fridays, as it will start on 2 p.m. on those days. The latest a candidate can arrive is 30 minutes after the scheduled starting time. In the event of any emergency or disaster, candidates should immediately contact the Disaster Management Centre's hotline at 117, where assistance will be provided to them. To ensure the safety and smooth conduct of the examination, a special security program has also been implemented. Over 3,400 police officers have been deployed to examination centres, coordination centres and the transport of question papers as well as answer scripts. Let's move on to another very important local news item this morning. Now, the acceptance of nominations for the upcoming local government election will begin today. Meanwhile, the National Election Commission has issued a notice outlining important details regarding nominations for the upcoming local government election. The notice includes 11 key points that specify the conditions under which the nominations may be rejected. The National Election Commission said that nominations can be disqualified if submitted by unauthorized persons or if the number of candidates does not match the required amount. If a candidate fails to sign their nomination paper, their name will be removed from the list and no substitute name will be allowed. The notice also confirms that any bond deposited on behalf of a candidate will be forfeited if their nomination is rejected. Nominations for the local government elections will begin today and will be accepted until 12 noon on the 20th of March. They can be submitted daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. at district secretariat offices and election offices, where returning officers will oversee the entire process. Candidates must ensure that their bonds are deposited by 12 noon on the 19th of March. The Election Commission has announced that the date for the local government elections will be revealed on the 20th of March. Meanwhile, nominations for the Mana, Punakari and Dehyata Kandiya Pradeshia Sabhas will be accepted from the 24th to the 27th of March, while the deadline for submission of security deposits is set for 12 noon on the 26th of March. And to ensure a smooth process, the National Election Commission will implement enhanced security measures at all district secretariats and election offices from today until the deadline. The chairman of the National Election Commission, RMAL Ratnayaka, urges candidates to submit their nominations in a manner that does not disrupt the ongoing 2024 GCE Ordinary Level examination. In addition, the acceptance of postal vote applications for 336 local government bodies will close at midnight as well. The official election day is expected to be announced on the 20th of March. Today is the 15th day of the Budget Committee stage debate. The Parliament is scheduled to convene for this purpose at 9:30 a.m. today. The session will begin with a debate on the expenditure head for the Ministry of Buddhisasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs. Following that, the expenditure head of the Ministry of Environment will be taken up for debate. And the vote on the third reading of the appropriation bill is set to take place on the 21st of March at 6 p.m. Finally, on to the weather news update this morning. The Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and over provinces and in the Polonnaruwa, Nuwara Eliya and Mathale districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy district after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places as well. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and Uba provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts during the morning. The general public, as always, is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Still in local news, the French Navy ship Provence arrived at the port of Colombo on a formal visit yesterday morning. She was welcomed by the Sri Lanka Navy in compliance with the time-honoured naval traditions. A 142.2-metre-long destroyer is commanded by Captain Lionel Siegfried and manned by a crew of 160 members. During the stay in the island, the crew members will visit tourist hotspots in the country, and the ship is scheduled to depart the island on the 20th of March. We move on to news overseas now. More than 200 alleged Venezuelan gang members have been deported from the U.S. to a supermax prison in El Salvador, even as a U.S. judge blocked these removals. El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele wrote on social media that 238 members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua had arrived in the Central American country, along with 23 members of the international MS-13 gang on Sunday morning. Neither the U.S. government nor El Salvador has identified the detainees nor provided details of their alleged criminality or gang membership. A federal judge's order prevented the Trump administration from invoking a centuries-old wartime law to justify the deportations, but the flights had already departed. Bukele, an ally of U.S. President Donald Trump, wrote that the detainees were immediately transferred to El Salvador's notorious mega jail, the Terrorism Confinement Center. The El Salvadoran president said they would be held there for a period of 1 year, and that too could be renewable. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio thanked Bukele in a post on X, calling him the strongest security leader in their region. And in more international news now, the Houthi rebels' health ministry said that the death toll from U.S. strikes on Yemen has risen to 53, including 5 children. The U.S. said it launched a decisive and powerful wave of airstrikes on Houthi targets on Saturday, with President Donald Trump citing Houthi attacks on shipping in the Red Sea as the reason. Washington said some key Houthi figures were among the dead, but the group had not confirmed this. Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi said that his militants would target U.S. ships in the Red Sea as long as the U.S. continues its attacks on Yemen. Updating an earlier death toll, the Houthi Health Ministry spokesperson posted on X that 53 people had been killed, including 5 children and 2 women, and that 98 people had been wounded. The Houthis said fresh U.S. strikes were launched on Sunday night in the port city of Hodeidah. The U.S. is yet to comment. U.S. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz told ABC News that Saturday's strikes targeted multiple Houthi leaders and took them out. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth vowed an unrelenting missile campaign until Houthi attacks stop. Let's move on to sports news for this morning now. The Indian team emerged victorious at the International Masters League T20 Cricket Tournament 2025, winning the final by 6 wickets against the West Indies Masters team. The match took place in Raipur, India. The West Indies Masters team, having won the toss, opted to bat first. They began their innings with captain Brian Lara alongside Dwayne Smith. However, the Indian bowlers did not allow them to settle and score freely. Captain Brian Lara was dismissed for just 6 runs. Dwayne Smith managed to score 45 runs. The top scorer for the West Indies Masters team was Lennell Simmons, who gathered 57 runs. By the end of their 20 overs, the West Indies Masters team had scored 148 runs for the loss of 7 wickets. In reply, the Indian Masters team kicked off their innings with captain Sachin Tendulkar and Ambati Rayudu. The first wicket partnership between the two produced a solid 67-run stand. Captain Sachin Tendulkar made 25 runs, while the valuable knock came from Ambati Rayudu, who scored 74 runs from 50 balls. Rayudu's innings included 3 sixes and 9 fours. Thus, chasing a target of 149 runs, the Indian Masters team emerged victorious with 4 wickets down, finishing the match in 17.1 overs and securing a well-deserved victory. Well, that's a wrap of this morning's edition of the Breakfast Rundown on TV1. I'm Therunee Karunaratne. You can join us once again tomorrow as well, right here at 7 a.m. for more of the very latest from here at home and around the world. Until then, take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.